All
Hey,
right,
everybody.
everybody. How you guys doing, everybody? So
Great. Woohoo.
nice,
Awesome.
nice. I'd like to hear some positivity during this crazy time because I've talked to a lot of agents throughout this week and last week, and it's been crazy. People are upset. Obviously, people are down. People thinking it's the end of the world. The sky is falling. So I think honestly that it presents more opportunities, and we'll be over with this sooner than everybody expects. That's just my take on this. So, but meanwhile, we have to adjust to work online and to, be creative about it.
This is the new normal. The unnormal is the new normal.
That's correct. That's correct. So, I wanted to go to Johnny. Johnny, what's your old take on this, and how do you think agents can actually to work online and continue to working besides the
Uh,
obvious not able to show the houses?
how much time do I have? Because I could go on for a week about it. First of all, take this as a blessing. Everything you got to look at. I don't have the book here. It's upstairs in the library. There's a saying in a book that I'm reading, and it says, every possible thing that was handed to me is the best possible situation it could have been. So it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. Okay. There's money to be made in the up market. There's money to be made in the down market. It's going to be a little rough. It might be a little bump, but I'm talking to agents that just put 6 on the contract. Another one that took 4 listings. So while we hear a lot of this doom and gloom, it's what you're dialing into. What you focus on expands, as bold law
Exactly.
would say, I believe, right? What you
Yeah.
focus on expands. So if you're focusing on being positive, if you focus on your relationships, if you're focusing on your community, if you're focusing on your business, if you're taking this, lockdown or whatever like that, and taking a look at the weaknesses of your business, the threats of your business, because what we were just handed was the whole country was handed a blindsided threat that we couldn't have accounted for.
You can
So
shoot the
let's take a
virus.
look
Yeah,
at that.
exactly.
Let's take a look at that now and say, shit, where was I vulnerable? Do I,
Yeah.
the people that are panicking, I have to question, do you not have 3 months in the bank?
Most probably don't.
Right?
So
And that's where the panic
yeah,
comes from.
that's where the panic comes from. And
And most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 1 month can devastate a whole family.
that's
You surely
exactly
can.
that's exactly true. And the way, obviously, that's all about preparedness, being prepared for anything like this. And I get that.
And
I
I don't
did.
want that to sound harsh, right? But take this time. If you can't go on appointments, you have the world's greatest tool right here that has applications on it. I'm learning them. Why aren't you, right? That's what I say to people. Learn how to get a good story app. I use, there's a couple of them on. Mojo is one of the apps, right?
Mhm.
Do you have InShot? Do you have any kind of video editor? You got Big View. Do you make something? Learn a new skill. Learn some editing. There's dozens of them that you can use on the laptop.
Exactly.
Make something, make content, bring positivity to your people right now. It's our opportunity right now, man. This is me, all hands on deck, support local. My thing right now is, who really wants to explode their business, not today, but as we come out of this? Be the leader of your community.
Also, Regina, what's your take on this? What would you recommend to people, just to kind of boost them up a little bit and give them some food for thought, and how to keep going? Especially you're in California where you guys cannot even leave
Yeah.
the house.
Oh yeah, we've been on lockdown for, a week or so far. And everybody's saying, "Oh, it's going to be temporary. It's 2 weeks, it's a month." Well, I'm hearing predictions today. This could be July, August before we get out of lockdown. Number 1, and number 2, this could impact the economy for 18 months. I mean, we could see the entire economy change. As a matter of fact, I'm sure it will. Okay, there will be a lot of things changing, and it will have a long-lasting impact. And the third thing that might happen is this might change the face of business permanently. So instead of thinking temporarily, we should be adapting to look at what we can do to change our business to adapt to the new unnormal,
New
and
reality, yeah.
to and for the future, like, how can we change our business for the future? I was watching a interview with Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad author.
Mhm.
And boy, he's genius. But it was actually taped at the end of 2019, and he said a crash is coming. This was before the coronavirus pandemic had even started. And he said a crash is coming. Here's how to prepare for it. And he said that he would invest in companies that have not been around recently, because in 20 years from now, all the companies that are going to be surviving are the ones that had not been existed 20 years ago. So look for new opportunities. I mean, yes, it's changed what we do, but we can adapt and we can even be leaders. This is a time for us to shine as leaders.
Exactly. And a lot of, I mean, obviously real estate is very personable business, and we talking to a lot of agents, and the only way they know how to do business is go out there, shake hands, kiss babies, which you cannot do right now. And even like
no kissing the baby right now.
I know, right? Or even shaking hands, fist bump.
Not even.
The thing is, it's becoming less personable with this situation that we've been thrown into. It's becoming less personable, and people are freaking out because this is not the way they're actually used to do business before. You know, it's a change. It's a change for them, and they don't. I think the freak out comes from not knowing what to do and how to do it. That's the freak out coming from.
Sure, your security of what you know, your experience of what you know is just kicked in its teeth, right? And your security of, you know, I needed to get a sale, or I just got into the business, or whatever the situation might be, is now in jeopardy, right? Sure, I get it. There's fear, there's panic, but there's also massive opportunity. Massive opportunity. What's stopping you? There's free, like I said, free apps on the phone. There's broadcasting softwares. You could be using OBS, which is free. Learn it, right? And use that to make cool videos. Build your YouTube channel. Guess what? You got enough views, YouTube will pay you, right? What can you start doing on that front? What can you use for streaming software like Zoom, or I have one that I've been messing with. Hold on. Let me
we're gonna talk about
StreamYard.io. Which is free, right? You can use the free version of Zoom. Start interviewing restaurants or business owners. What are they up to? What are they able to do for commerce? Restaurants, most of them are essential, so they're going to be offering delivery and takeout options. Who are they?
Help a market,
right?
Help a market build their build a relationship.
If you did a 5-minute Zoom with 10 business owners, right, one after the other, bang, bang, bang. Realistically, it's an hour, but call it 2 hours, right? Because the way life happened. Call it even 3 hours. You have weeks worth of content.
Exactly. And the knee-jerk reaction for when agents see that crap hits the fan, the initial reaction is just to cut all the expenses, cut the fat, and a lot of them. What I noticed, they cut their lead generation, they cut their online marketing. They just want to go into some sort of hiatus and wait around for things to go back to normal, instead of, my understanding, cutting fat is good, but when you cut fat, don't cut the muscle. So, what's your guys' thought on this, Regina?
Well, one of the things I have been advising for the past couple of years, because I've been through this before, the 2007 Great Recession, as they're now calling it. Because I got my license in 1988. So I've seen up and down. I teach economics, real estate economics, and my students know that it's a cycle. It's going to happen again. We just don't know when. We don't know how deep. We don't know what's going to be affected. So it's good to be ready. So on that, I have been advising to have multiple streams of income in your business, to diversify a little bit and not have all your eggs in one basket, as they say. But for brokerage owners, one of the big things I've been talking about is property management, because I saw that in 2007 when sales tanked, property management zoomed up, right?
So
REOs.
You gotta pivot to a different model, or to a different stream of revenue. Also,
Exactly.
Cannot be basically thinking. You gotta start thinking outside the box. And Johnny, I know you have some good thoughts about this. I would like to hear your opinion about cutting the fat but not cutting the muscle.
Well, first of all, I would say that the best time for this advice is 2 years ago. Okay. And there's, to be reactionary is never good. Regina turned me on to a book a year and a half ago by Michael Michalowicz called Profit First.
Yep. I know
probably the
that one.
driest thing you'll ever read, but
I've
it's
read it.
very impactful and very powerful.
agree.
And it kind of aligns with the same way that I've always taught. Let's just break it down to this. Out of that big check you get, 45% of it's yours. You got other places you need to allocate that money. And if you did that for the past 2 years, then you would be fine right now. You wouldn't be worrying. You would just be moving forward. You understand you just have to move certain needles, right? But you got money stashed away. So what I would look at is, it's a great time to look at your expenses. What's giving you a 4+ times ROI? Okay.
Hmm.
And you want to know, where is my return coming from? Now, I want to say I would have cut online leads a long time ago, because if you look at the NAR, what do they call it? It comes out every year, Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers.
Yep.
Everybody should have access to that through their brokerage. If not, you get access to it from NAR. And it talks about the percentages of agents that or where the transactions came from. I'm looking for it as we're talking. I know I have it on my desktop, so just give me a second.
Most come from referral. We know that, right? Like 75 to 80%.
So we
Correct. You know,
Yeah.
referrals from other agents, past clients. The sad part is, Regina, when we look at that, and I think it was on page 71, when we look at that, it was like 8% or 12% use the same agent to buy the next home. So I would be looking at that saying, hey, there's an 80-something% going on, something wrong going on here. How do we
There's a
fix
gap.
that? Yeah, and that's done through, A, conscious awareness, but B, starting to put those systems in place and relationships, and you checking on your people, you checking on your elderly people, making sure that they got what they need. Can you help out at all? Those types of things. How can you be the leader? How can you help your people? How can you connect to them? Because the majority of business comes from referral. NAR puts this out year after year, and year after year, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
What you need online is a presence,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
What you need online is visibility and to be seen, not to jam real estate down people's throat anymore.
Exactly. And a lot of agents, when I spoke to last week, I spoke with a lot of agents actually, because, we run the company Virtue Desk, and people freaking out, reaching out to us and say, hey, what do we do now? And I say, well, this is actually a perfect opportunity for your virtual assistant to shine and for you to shine,
Yeah.
and a lot of them just don't know what tools to use. So yeah, what is this, Johnny? Yeah.
This is what I found. It was actually page 79.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Johnny Mo.
Perfect.
Right? People should be focusing on those relationships. Okay, stop. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. You need to focus on your sphere. Reach out to your sphere. Create. And I think, honestly, this kind of interesting thought, but since real estate is very personable, we agreed that. So you can do virtual, shake hands and kiss babies, pretty much. You can be in front of people virtually. You can be in their phone. You can be basically right here for your sphere of influence. They're all right here. So you can just reach out to your people through your phone from the palm of your hand. It's way actually easier than to go and meet them in person or whatever, but that's how you do it.
Let's meet for a cup of coffee. Yeah, it's so much easier. You can do 20-minute calls, 20-minute check-ins. You can do 5 of them an hour, right?
Yeah, a lot of people say, hey, I'm not good on the phone. I'm actually better. Yeah, they say, hey, I'm not good on the phone. I'm actually better, in person. I handle in person. Great, do some FaceTime.
Yeah.
FaceTime, Zoom, send a quick link. But the reality is, it's actually becoming more structured. The online work, because we've been working online, Virtue Desk, for 4 years, and it is very structured in a sense that it doesn't have the same approach. Like, hey, I can jump in somebody else's office at any time and start a conversation. You have to actually schedule the meeting. You have to make sure that person is available. So that kind of develops some sort of a culture of structure, I call it.
I think it's fantastic. I absolutely do. The place that I got the least amount of work done ever was the office.
Yeah, so I'm working from home, and I actually get way more done by working from home. The only thing is requirement is I have a good internet connection. I have a schedule. It's right on my desktop. I can go from there. And same thing like meeting the clients, because I also run, let's say, I also run a brokerage and I meet with agents, and we schedule weekly meetings, and it's individual meetings. We do it on on Zoom, so it's all on the calendar. They know when, they know if they have a question, they have to save it for the meeting. So yeah, that's probably for some people maybe a downside, that you cannot just jump in anytime, but you have to. But again, we have like at least 10 different ways of communications with each other, starting from Facebook, Instagrams, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook Messenger, texting,
So
phone
many.
call, WeChat, Skype, Zoom, anything. Right on my phone, I have about 10. I counted once, So it's we are.
And I think what people have to realize, right, is this is momentary. In the cosmos of time, this is nothing, right? It might be a month. Nobody knows. It might be a month, and it might be 6 months. Nobody knows. But I know this. I know people that are freaking busy. I know people that are closing and putting deals together and following up with their people. Now, you might have to take a step back and say, okay, we're not coming to market in April. All right, let's keep an eye on it. But you want to stay in touch with these people, right? And you got other people that were going to come on the market maybe May, staying in touch with those people, monitoring the situation. That's what we got to focus on, monitoring our current business and what is the landscape and what does it look for them. Because at the end of the day, people still need to buy. People still need to sell.
Exactly.
Whether it's an up market or a down market, they're going to buy. In a down market, you might be working with more investors, so align yourself.
Exactly. And we need to not forget that housing is an essential of life. I mean, you talk about food, shelter, and clothing. Housing is an essential. People always need a place to live. Now, temporarily, they might stay, with family if there's a situation temporarily, but people need housing. So let us not forget that we're important in, the essential things that people need, whether it's rental property or whether it's to own a home. And so we need to focus on who needs to move and when. And as you pointed out, Johnny Mo, there are people that are going to move no matter what the market. There are deaths happening. There are births happening. There are divorces. There are.
We're gonna see more of those
disability
after this.
Blended families and new baby. And here's something: people might be looking to get out of the city and buy something up north.
Exactly.
Rural agents.
Yeah, they might be wanting to get off of the grid and, buy rural property and buy something that's inexpensive. They can own free and clear and not have all
grow
the
their
debt.
own green beans.
Right. So I think we're going to see a shift in the demographics of where people are going to be moving to, what they're going to demand in their housing. And it's up to us, to keep our ear to the ground and be listening for those needs that people have and how we can serve them.
That's true, So a lot of agents say right now, hey, you know what, but my buyers, they don't want to buy. They're scary. They're putting things off. They're not, ready to move forward. What do I do? Because right now we have a problem where, I can see where buyers are trying to, put things on hold. And for a lot of agents, that's a disaster because they don't have any, paycheck coming in. So how do we handle that? How do we actually approach that? Do we have an objection for this to handle your buyers, to make them, to incentivize them to move forward?
Yeah, your money needs are not their problem. That's
true.
my answer.
That's exactly.
Your money problems is not their problem at all. So the fact that you need them to close for you to pay your bills, that's a you problem. Don't put it on anybody else. Yes. No, there is no script. There's no overcoming that. They're right. Don't buy right now. Hold off. You might not have a job in 30 days, right?
Exactly.
Maybe let the mess go through. If it's a cash buyer, that's something different. If it's somebody that has to, if it's a first-time buyer and they're shaky, our job isn't to force. Our job isn't to close the deal. It's not a realtor's job. It isn't to close the deal. We're not in that industry. We do have fiduciaries for a reason.
What would you recommend to those agents, Regina? Maybe or John?
Well, I was going to say along those lines, we need to look at where the market's going to be. It's going to be turning into a banker's market, an investor's market. So that means that we need to get our agents trained on REOs, short sales, and investors. Those three areas are going to be big, and we need to learn and get specialized in those.
Yeah.
And more than just training, we need to start making the connections with the asset managers at the banks. We need to start getting short sale systems in place, and we need to be ready for what's coming down the road so that we can prosper regardless of whether it's a up market or a down market.
So
Can I
pretty
just
much-
interject too?
Yeah,
I want to interject something. We've had 8 years to prepare for this, so we're not being blindsided.
Correct.
This was in the scripts. Okay, this was in the manuscript in 2011 or 12. Whenever family reunion was in Orlando, I went and I was with KW at the time. I went and I remember them discussing how, at that point, 11, 12, the market was flat. It was just starting to make a rebound, and that they were talking about how there's going to be a 3% appreciation until 2019, 2020, because that's about right in the cyclical cycles and everything else like that. I specifically remember because when we get back a month later, my OPs would do, and my OP and his business partner, they would do the state of the state and the state of whatever they called it, right, for local. And it would always pack the house, couple hundred people inside of the conference room. And they said the same thing. One said, I think it was 2019, and one said, no, I think it's going to be 2020, or is vice versa. But around this year, give or take a year. We're right on schedule. Gary said it was going to happen back in 2011 or 12 that we're going to have this, and then we're going to have a correction. Who knows what that correction will look like, but it's cyclical. It always
it is cyclical. But a lot of people said we should have had it earlier. We didn't have it earlier simply because there were so many governmental programs put into place to stop a downturn. So I think that actually helped build the market going up, and now it's just high. So I think we're going to see a correction there, definitely. But the short-term economic cycle is usually 3 to 6 years, and there's usually a correction, a small correction every 3 to 6 years. And the long-term cycle is 18 years is the average. And so I think, and the other thing is usually when you have a major downturn like that, you're going to see a little bounce back afterwards. We never saw that, right? So I think that's going to happen now.
Yeah.
So
I think we're going to come out of this so strong. People are going to realize how vulnerable they really are. That's what I think. And there's nothing more secure than home ownership.
So we're still in a good business.
Yeah. Because if you're renting right now and your landlord's not going to cut you a break, but you own a house and it's through Fannie or Freddie and you're able to get that deferment program that they have, I think it's up to a year that they're offering.
Yeah.
You're in a good position.
So also I heard some economists saying like right now, this is comparable to more like 9/11 than 2008.
Yeah,
so
I would agree.
Is that what you agree? Because it's like hit all of a sudden, boom, like one single event, like 9/11, one single event occurred that tanked the economy. Right now, it's also one single event. It would be like war, or it could be like a pandemic, or it could be something, because fundamentally, there was nothing wrong with the economy fundamentally. Everything was going. Like when they went in 2008, the bad loans were made. People were, anybody, my doc could get a loan. But and that whole thing just kind of burst,
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it's
in economics, that's what they call black swan event.
yeah, black swan, exactly. And you may want to explain to the people who don't know what black swan is.
Well, it's exactly what you described, Pavel. It's a weird thing that just suddenly happens. It wasn't expected. It's not something that would be repeated. It's not something that could have been predicted. It's although actually there are a lot of people who are now saying, "Oh, we predicted this," which some people did actually. Well, not to this level, I don't think. But
well, I think Bill Gates did.
Okay, was that a book he wrote or?
No, I think he was on the
TED Talk.
TED Talk.
He didn't predict it specifically. He predicted it in generality, saying that a virus would be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Not the year, not any of that, but the thing is, I did a post today in one of the groups, and I said it 2008, and some people corrected me, and I said, yeah, you're right. It is more like 9/11. It was this it's this catastrophic event that happens, which was unforeseen. The mortgage world, it was unforeseen to the layman, but it wasn't unforeseen to the Wall Street mavens.
Oh yeah,
they knew exactly what was
not,
going on.
It was not unforeseen to loan officers either. So they didn't expect that. You know, they were just originating and getting paid. And here it's like it was not foreseeable to anybody. So I guess you're right. It is a black swan, and we will recover faster than we did after 2008. That's my thing. That's my opinion on this. So you just have to, you know, and probably we're not even talking about years of recovery. It's months.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think I was on a conference call video chat on Zoom this morning with another group, and they were saying, you know, this might be the new normal, that every once a year everybody self-quarantines for a month, you know, and because of the nature of the viruses, and because this isn't the only one, there will be other ones coming, and we can't predict that. So
I self-quarantined 3 years ago, and I love it.
Hey, you know, the roads the air has been getting cleaner, the oceans and the water has been getting
there's dolphins in
purified.
Venice for the first time in forever.
So nature needs it every once in a while, right?
Yeah, reset.
Yeah,
it needs a reset button. But I would be, you know, if I was an agent right now, man, I wouldn't be freaking out. If you're freaking out, it's because you're not prepared, right? And so that's going to happen.
Right,
so
I'd
have my ear to the ground on every government program out there. Okay. Is there anything? I mean, are they going to give us some money? I mean, $1,200 a month, I'll take it. $1,200 doesn't really do a whole lot in my world, right?
It's not. I'm not even going to get anything because they're actually limiting by income. So I'm not getting anything.
Well, you make too much anyway.
I know. Right?
There are a lot of programs out there. I just typed in there, Johnny Mo, can you share your list of government programs to help people? If you have a list or something, that'd be great.
The only things that I know are Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, mortgages and student loans. My provider said loans starting in F8, whatever that means.
What would you guys recommend to the agents as far as daily activities? What can they do to work online? What tools can they use to work online? Besides the phone and the apps, what their daily routine should be now? Because since they cannot go out and meet clients, they cannot go and take listings, cannot show homes. For them, it's just paralyzing. It's paralyzing, and the uncertainty of that, I think, is more paralyzing, that they don't know when it's going to end. It's like when you're in jail and you don't know when you're going to get out. It's like very Kafkaesque in an essence.
I knew when I was getting out. Box on the wall.
No, but when you actually go to jail, you know when you get out. But here, you don't know when you get out.
Regina, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I would like you to go first because you were talking about systems. So I know you have a really great system that you've implemented.
Yeah.
So I would definitely, in a general statement, I would say that you need to look at the things, right? There you go. You need to time block and put into place. You got to have some time for, right now, more than ever. If you're not a praying person, that's fine. Meditate, right? Silence your mind. Silence your mind and bring it to an imaginative space of what you want to accomplish. To me, that quiet, imaginative place, that is God to me. And that's where I can talk directly and see the future and my vision. And that's where we plan it. So we need to have some time. Wake up a little bit early. Don't start waking up late, not showering for 3 days or brushing your teeth at all. Wake up and go through the same routines. If you used to go to the gym, work out at home. Okay. Whatever you do, don't just make it about being home. Don't turn the TV on. Don't put Matlock on and all that other stuff. So do something to silence the mind, to see the future. Even Steve Harvey has a vision board. Look at your vision board every day, all day. Have it in a place that you got to walk by it all the time. Envision what it is that you want. You want to learn something new. So read something. Read for a half hour, 15 minutes. Even if it's just 15 minutes, read something positive and motivational. right? Seek to understand something that you might interest you, but you want to deep further. Psychology, I love psychology. I'm always learning about it because everything is psychology. Aim to put out a piece or two of content. Learn something new like a skill, video editing, and all these other things. I'm not even till 11 o'clock. And I've already accomplished so much. Then I can make sure I'm checking on my town, checking on my people, checking on my sphere, checking on my elderly. Is there anything that I can do? Is there any news source out there that's more credible? I got to, we're building community pages, right? We're supporting local. What can I do in my community? What news? I need to be the leader of my community. My people need to be the leaders of their community. And how can we bring that? It's not about the immediate result. It can't be. We're entrepreneurs.
And that's the thing. A lot of people, especially newer agents who've been in the business 2, 3, 4 years, who haven't seen 2008, 2009, who only got into the business when the market was on the up, they are used to this instant gratification of instant paycheck or instant commission check, multiple offers, selling same hour when you list, and that's hard to let go. That's hard to let go psychologically because you're not prepared for it, and you pretty much tuned out when everybody was telling you, hey, tough times are coming, and your idea was like, hey, you know what, this guy's negative. I gotta just cut him out of my head. Not gonna listen to him. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
are you guys familiar with the old tale growing up about the ant and the grasshopper?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
That you got to store for the future, man, because it's always gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
It's always gonna come.
So, Pavel, one of the things you were just talking about made me think. In the last recession, we saw a thinning of agents, right?
Yep.
A lot of them went out of business, or they just, started doing something else. They found another job, went back to school, really retired this time.
Yeah.
Or whatever they did. So we did see, as you said, a thinning of the herd. It didn't mean that necessarily the best agents who offered the best customer service stayed in business to clients. So, we still have to be competitive, and we need to know that we're in this for the long term, and we need to set our goals accordingly. But maybe it's a good time to go back and revisit how we're going to achieve those goals. We still have them, right? But now the map to get there has changed, or the road has changed a little bit, and we have to adjust with it.
And here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only been 1 week.
I know, right? It feels like an eternity. It feels like like longer than that. It does feel longer. Yeah.
I can promise you this. We're not eating each other yet. We haven't hit economic hardship yet. If only a week caused it, major problem, right? But if now is the time to start researching BPO companies and REO companies, seeing if you can get any, because if it does slow up, these might still be needed, even though they're doing moratoriums on foreclosures and evictions.
Oh, it'll happen, but it'll take probably a good year for those to kick in. But like you said, right now, make the contacts, get ready.
Because what happened last time was, I got in 2004, 5. I was watching this girl do all these BPOs. And I'm like, what is that all about? 05, 06, it got a little slow. And it was like right at the top of like the roller coaster. And then all of a sudden the market, right? And it was like at that time, everybody's trying to get the REOs. It was too late.
Too late. It's
Yeah, exactly.
Start to look. You're home. If you got nothing to do some research on how to get BPOs, how to get REOs. Go to REOnetwork.com. Sign up, but don't sign up for anything that costs money.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those things are scams.
Okay, I just wanted to go back to the topic of what people can do every day. And Johnny Mo, as you were talking, I wrote some little notes in the chat here about your daily schedule, following routines, look at your vision board, learn new things, and be a leader. And I have this little goal achiever is what I call it. It's my daily planner, and it's pretty awesome. It has, it's a daily routine, and people say, well, I keep it on my computer. Actually, I keep appointments on my computer too, because they pop up and tell me, but I use this for everyday planning. I usually do actually in the evening for the next day, and you can use something like this for your everyday planning. And so what I do, for our agents at our company, we had this little schedule that they can follow that kind of helps them to segment their day. You know, the first hour you spend doing this, the second 2 hours you spend doing this, and you do these type of activities. So every day there's like little slots, half-hour slots of what they can be doing. So I would encourage agents to take that schedule or that calendar and see how you can convert that to doing online. So the first thing is, you know, number one might be, for example, go preview new houses on the market. Okay, well, maybe you can't preview them, you know, by walking inside, but if you're out and about, you can drive by on your, you know, in your car and look at them. You can go into the MLS, you can call a listing agent and get details, right? So you can still stay sharp. Maybe another thing on your calendar is, you know, have a meeting with not necessarily a prospect, but somebody who's in your sphere of influence. Well, now you can have a virtual meeting, right? So you can do the same thing. You can just do it virtually. Maybe you had in your calendar to go to a Chamber of Commerce meeting or, you know, a lead generation type of group. Yeah, you can still do the same thing. Just pick up the phone or get on video.
100%.
And so that will keep us sane by staying on the same routine and staying on track. But just the way we accomplish it is different, but still continue to do the same types of activities.
Also, guys, I just added Patricia Ferrander from the attendee. She's operation manager of VirtuDesk, you know, and she's been talking to agents daily as far as what's going on and what their virtual assistants are doing for them. So maybe, Patricia, you there? Maybe you could share some insights. What agents been doing? Those who, you know, who decided not to put their accounts on hold and actually keep using their VA, and what they're doing. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Actually, I was, you know, I'm actually listening to you guys. And hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yes, hi. So, yeah, so we have still clients who are, you know, still investing or still have this, they still have this, like a motivation to still stay positive amidst of the what's going on in this world. So yeah, so they are maximizing the usage, or they're utilizing our virtual assistants by, you know, setting up appointments from, you know, face to face to phone appointments, or sometimes video appointments or video calls. And they are using also, because most of our, like 100% of the people right now are into online or Facebook or social media. So they're also helping, or they also wanted to utilize their VAs to definitely help them in social medias, like platforms, like areas of Facebook. And we have also clients who's using TikTok now, since like it's really on demand right now, not just for realtors, but also it's really effective, like for all those who are, you know, getting this. And also, like what I'm listening, I just want to share, because I was listening to you guys earlier. Probably this would be the time for self-reflection. You know, people should take this to reflect on self, because we really need to take a look on the things that we may want to change. And, you know, if there's a need to change the structure or how we will achieve it, because believe me, like in a span of time, we will bounce back and we will, you know, go back to be busy or get back to our hustle. Right. And
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
we really,
And
yes.
it's and right now, what I call right now, it's virtual hustle. Those, I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people just going to, you know, wait out on the sidelines, kind of. You know, like let's say during the football game, let's say one team is warming up and another team is just standing on the sidelines, you know, talking in front of the water cooler. Well, guess which team's gonna win, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
So
And I
so
love,
that's, yeah. So pretty much that's what I think what it's gonna come down to. So you have to you know, stay active. I mean, I had an agent that
yeah.
recently come up to me and say, "Hey, I wanna
I want to cancel my license. I was like, why? He's like, well, I need to wait it out. It's like, okay, so you understand you cancel the license, you're not going to even be able to speak about real estate to people. He's like, yeah, that's fine, but nobody's buying. So, that person went into the Hades.
Yeah, we
Which
got a lot of
bewilders me because it's again only been
A week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Week or two or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean?
So
That's a pain
in my opinion, bro, those people maybe shouldn't be even in a business in the first place.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
I
that's
love what
definitely some good
Joni.
insight, Patricia.
Yeah, I love what you said earlier as well, that this is the time to increase what you have, get some like free online courses, right? So
Mhm.
that you can develop your skills. And yeah, if you have chance or use this to have like some sort of like remote education.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much stuff on the world's second biggest search engine, which is owned by the world's first biggest search engine. YouTube has so much stuff on it.
Yeah.
I got stuff. I know other groups have stuff. I know other trainers have stuff. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
knows Tom Ferry. If you're not going through every one of his videos, then you don't have any, you know what I mean? Improve. Do something to improve.
Exactly.
Because self-improvement, you touched on it and I loved it. Self-improvement is such an important thing. And I always tell my people, expect to spend 10% of what you make on self-improvement. Go into training seminars, go into, it's not all business. Sometimes it's about the mind. Go into some place, Rhythmia or something else like that. Maybe you're going to go walking in the desert and go find a toad or something, right? Something
Exactly.
for you, something to reinvest back into you to expand your mind. Are you going to go on a mission? Reinvest in yourself. This is the perfect time to reinvest basically for free.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love what you said about taking the time for self-reflection. And it just reminded me, I typed in the chat there that we should each be doing a SWOT, which is identifying your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and thinking about what the future might hold and how we can, how we're going to look in light of what the future market may be. And if we're not business owners, we can each do the SWOT individually as, business people, right? You don't have to be a business owner to have strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in front of you. We can all take some time and do that.
I love
Exactly.
it.
SWOT.
Yeah.
I
And
love it.
remember, guys, it's only been just 1 week. Stop freaking out. It's been 1 week,
I know.
and
Yeah.
humans are the creatures of habit. So once you got into the habit of doing business one way, it's going to probably take you another 2-3 weeks to get into the habit of doing business another way. So, you'll see that the same thing goes with the buyers and sellers. I mean, yes, right now they all freaked out, but they all get in a habit of understanding this, and they still need to buy houses. They still need to, you still need to live somewhere. So while other agents are, freaking out, you start doing what you're doing online and get into the habit of it. Because when other agents actually catch up to it and start getting into that, mode of doing business, you already, practiced it and mastered it. So, don't slow down, pedal to the metal and keep going at it. That's just my advice to people.
Exactly.
You have to pivot. You have to do things differently.
Listen, if you go to getmytown.com, that's what we're doing. Okay.
Right on.
Listen, you can do it too because we're only human.
Exactly.
Well,
So Johnny, while you said get my town, I'll type it in.
getmytown.com. Getmytown.com.
Okay.
That's what we're doing. That's really what we're talking about doing and such. So
So now
Yes.
you probably have to pivot, like Pavel said, pivot from, being able to do things live to do everything virtually.
And this is temporary. That's the thing.
Yeah.
This is temporary. So we're not saying change your whole business model. We're saying you might have to just change for the next 2 weeks, 1 week. We don't know. 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, right? Just
Who
gonna
knows?
it's going to be an inconvenience.
And remember, if you guys have a virtual assistant, your virtual assistant has been working like this for years. Patricia, she's been working for me for how many years already, and she's been working online all this time.
Yeah,
so
6 years.
So for her, it's nothing new. you know,
I'm
for,
actually not affected by it.
yeah. So for her, it's nothing new. But again, you're basically right now, you're like your virtual assistant who's been working. So maybe it's a time, so, you know, if you want to, you know, trim the fat but not cut the muscle, you know, get a VA. And, you know, if you don't have an office people, because office people cannot work in the office, while your office people are out and not able to work from home, get a VA who's already trained on doing it.
Right.
Just to carry you on. You know?
Yes, and it's nothing different about, you know, getting an in-house assistant, because basically our virtual assistants is, you know, they are trained for everything about real estate.
and frankly, right now, your in-house assistant is also a VA.
Exactly.
So you just save on the cost. That's it.
Exactly. That is right. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for taking the time. You know, I would love to, you know, like to thank
everybody. Just think like a CEO, because you are the CEO of your own little organization.
right.
And what would the CEO of your organization say to do? Crawl up on the couch, or let's come out of this swinging?
That's
exactly.
Right.
Just stay positive.
It's all about mindset, and this is where the money is going to be made in us thinking different than other people, running the opposite way of the crowd, looking for opportunities, seizing those opportunities, and planning for the future. While other people might be running around scared, and we can actually be leaders by doing those things and showing others.
Plan the next 3 months, man. Just plan the next 3 months.
Hey, Pavel, I have
yeah.
As I was preparing for this topic,
well,
you know, I'm like the list lady, right?
I know you are. I would like you to share the list, Regina, because you are the list lady.
Well, here's what I'll tell you what it is, and then if you like it, I'll send it to you, and I'll let you send it out to everybody.
Of course, send it to Patricia. She will share it with.
Okay, even better. So it's called Video Home Office Setup, and I go through the steps of how to set up your home office, how to set up your desk. You can see how I have my desk positioned with a wall behind me. So you don't have those little, you know, video conference fails where a half naked member of your family walks behind your video while you're live.
Yeah, right.
I've seen a few of those. Also, I have a list of like equipment, startup steps that you need to do. And then I have a list of some pretty funny video conference fails like the one I just mentioned. So yeah, I'll send it to Patricia, and then, oh, there's your pretty face. Hi, Patricia.
Hi, I didn't know that I don't have video throughout.
Oh, okay, no worries. And then you can distribute to whomever you like. It's a nice little bonus for those who wanted to join us today.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
Sounds good.
Great.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Let's wrap it up, and wish everybody, you know, stay positive. Most important thing.
Yes. Stay safe, boost your competency, and, you know, just stay positive. Yeah. Mindset, proper mindset.
Exactly.
All right, guys. You have a good one.
All
Peace
right.
out, everybody.
Peace out.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.